Hello everyone. So this video is actually about terminology. I was actually going to try to do this video a little while back. I'm going to do another video right after this, but this one's regarding terminology over Ultimate Traders. This is Nathan from Queens, the original Ultimate Trader, Ultimate Traders and Reddit. So you guys will notice the most popular term of late is grenades. So the reason that I use this term grenades is just like it sounds. Like DWAC went from 10 to 175 to 50 and 60, 50 and as high as 70 a day and back down to like around 60. So I'm going to call something like this grenade because if you hold it overnight, if you hold it later on the day, it could be a grenade. There was another stock yesterday, symbol BIMI, another grenade. There's a lot of grenades. Every day in my daily plays, I've been posting about 15 or 20 stocks that are in hot money. I would say majority of them are grenades because they're being pumped, and that'll be in the next video. So something that's a grenade is a stock that does not belong at the current price point. All right, a stock with fundamentals does not go up 50 or 100% in one day. It does not go up 200% in a day. That'll be in the next video. But this video is terminology. So if there's a ticker, it's up way too much and it shouldn't be there, I'm going to call it a grenade because if you hold it in your hand, it might just blow up. So that's something that you want to be careful of, grenades. Now, even though I might list 15 or 20 grenades, it doesn't mean that I trade all the grenades. It does not mean that I trade all the grenades. So that's the grenades. So if you're trading grenades, what I like to use is called lettuce hands. Lettuce hands is when you do trades within a minute or a couple of minutes, because these stocks, like I'm saying, it's a grenade. It's going to move up and down quickly. So that's a term that I call lettuce hands. We all hear of paper hands. No one ever defined paper hands. So to me, paper hands is if you hold out for at least 10%. All right. Diamond hands if you don't sell till you make at least 20%. So lettuce hands, quick trades. Paper hands, 10%, diamond hands 20% or above. No one ever defined it, so I figured, hey, let me just try to call it lettuce hands, paper hands, then diamond hands, because lettuce rips easier than paper. Well, unless you get, hard lettuce, but we'll say. All right, so the next term I used to use a lot. I would call it astronauts. So if you are strictly trading like 3 or 5 of your trades in the day are grenades. And normally, by the way, a grenade is up at least 5 to 10% in the pre-market on heavy volume. So if you're trading stocks that are at least up 10% and you do it a few rounds, I'm going to consider you an astronaut because you're a brave soul. You're going on the moon. You're going in outer space. So I'm going to call astronauts. Sometimes I have a lot of the elite team. A lot of us are astronauts trading stocks that are on fire. So mooning. Not everything can be mooning. All right, there's got to be a definition so that you know risk. Because if a stock is up 10%, there's some risk, but not crazy risk. Some risk. Now, if you're trading a stock that's up 50%, their risk is a lot higher. So we try to decipher just a couple of things. I mean, I'm going to call all the different names, but mooning 10%. If you're mooning, if the stock is up 10% or 10% from your entry, I consider it mooning. If the stock is up 20%, I'm going to consider it going parabolic. If the stock is up 20% from open or from your entry, let's call it parabolic. All right. If it's up 30%, let's call it going into orbit. All right, that means you're really going. The next step, 40%, is Mars. You know, after Mars, we just call it Pluto, 50%. I mean, I don't expect everyone to remember. It doesn't matter, but mooning. But it is important to know that mooning is only 10%. And if you want to say Mars or Pluto, it gives the other traders the idea that, hey, this stock is really dangerous, because 10%, I don't really consider it dangerous, but you want to be in alert. If you're trading something that's up 20, 30, 40%, to me, that's dangerous. So we got mooning, we got parabolic, orbit, Mars, and Pluto. 10%, 20%, 30%, 40%, and 50%. Now, I don't need you guys to remember that, but at least know mooning is 10, and something that's crazy is at least Mars or Pluto. That's just that's just to save the risk. Another term that's very important that I use a lot, because I'm mainly doing either super defensive, a little bit neutral, not too much neutral, and just a couple of offensive. What that means is that I'm a little worried that the market is a little top heavy right now. So when the market is a little top heavy, you know, I gotta fear and danger. So a super defensive stock is either a company that gives 8% dividends, or a bank that gives at least 3% dividends, has a PE ratio near 10. Why do I call that super defensive? I call that super defensive is because to protect the ticker from dropping too much, the company is giving you cash to have diamond hands. So if a company is paying you 8 or 10%, you might not sell it if it dips. You're going to sell it when you're up. So to me, that's super defensive. Some of the stocks that we're trading that are super defensive right now, we've been trading PSEC, AFIN. We've been trading BBD. So in each of these categories, I'm going to give you 3. So that's super defensive. A stock that's going to pay you to hold, or a bank that's going to pay you a little bit to hold, has a low PE, because generally banks hit the numbers all the time. And if you take a look at this quarter, the banks are killing it. So that's super defensive. The next step is defensive. Now, defensive stocks could have very low PE ratios, but that doesn't mean that they pay you to hold. They can have very low PE ratios, but they don't pay you necessarily hold. So the company could be making money, but they don't pay you money. So super defensive stocks, like when the market is fierce in fear, generally the dividend stocks and super defensive stocks go up. Defensive stocks might go up a little bit. So 3 defensive stocks with very low PE ratios, not tech stocks that we're trading, are CYH, DAN, and another one we could say EAF. So those are 3 that are defensive. Okay, the next step is neutral stocks. So a neutral stock is normally something that doesn't really give you dividends. The company is doing all right, not doing great, but doing all right. Some of them are actually doing good, but they're not paying you money, and they have a low PE. When I say a low PE, it has to have below the S&P 500, which is now trading roughly around 30 times earnings, which is high historically. Historically trades in the low 20s. So 3 that we've been trading that are neutral. So Shoe Carnival, SCVL, CONN. You can say I mean, before you could have said Rite Aid, R-A-D, but now Rite Aid is losing a little money. But you can say supermarkets like ACI, Albertsons. Yeah, Albertsons is a good neutral company, so it's something that doesn't have to go up or down if the market, depending on what the market's. Offensive plays are stocks with very high PE ratios. Very high PE ratios. Are tech stocks, are growth stocks. Now these are dangerous, and they're usually good if the market is green. But if the market is really red, a lot of these come down. That's not always the case, but it happens. So if the beta ratio is high, usually it's an offensive stock. So some of the offensive stocks we're trading are CPNG, PUBM, and yesterday PERI had amazing earnings. So that's the terminology at Ultimate Traders. We have maybe a few more. Actually, one more let me add, because I decided just to add this. Okay, if a stock, so grenades, I'd even discuss unshortable. So unshortable company is a company with a low PE ratio that's making money. So we have grenades. Unshortable is a company that's a solid company that's making money. There's no reason to short it, so I call it unshortable. The next one is a runner. A runner is something like CPNG. They're not making money yet, but the growth is there, and you don't want to short it because in the next 12 to 18 months, they could be making money. The growth is there, so then sales can translate to earnings. So that's a runner. So Coupang is a runner. EZGO is a runner because they might be profitable and they have sick growth. PubM was a runner, but it's actually not really speculative. They started making money, but growth was high. HIMS, HIMS, is a great runner. They're growing 75%. They're not making money now, but in the next 12 to 18 months, they're going to make some cash. So that's a runner. And then one new term that I didn't put in the terminology anywhere on Reddit is hot potato. I want to use hot potato a while, but hot potato is something with a crazy high PE ratio. It's making money, but the PE ratio is crazy, crazy high, which means for me, I wouldn't want to trade it. So one that's in the news all the time right now is PINS, PINS. PYPL, PayPal, because the P ratio is really high. The company is solid, but the valuation is just too high. Same thing with Square. There's a number of them. So I call them hot potatoes because the fundamentals and the stock price do not match. So hopefully this helps with terminology. All right, I'm going to go on to the next video and then head home. I'm at my apartment. All right, good luck.